welcome everyone. We will be waiting a couple of minutes until everybody is going to be online with us. Till then, I can sing the song or I can make a joke.
Dance.
Or dance. No, you dance.
No, not today.
Yeah. Anybody telling us how many people are being?
Still
30 already.
Still to wait. So I guess we're having a good time here around, huh? We don't really care about
we are pretending we're having a good time.
Oh, come on.
From those weeks, last weeks, these years, and those years. Now we are very lucky from this point of view. It's been the most wonderful time that I ever spent in my professional life and in my life in general.
That's
Really.
that's actually
This is
true.
A declaration.
That is actually true. That's breaking news.
That's breaking news for us.
No, but that's actually true, and yeah, I'm completely with you here. It's been such an amazing ride, and together with all the guys in the audience and all the investors and everything and team and stuff, I mean it's like so energizing and so cool. It's not only the coffees that I drink today; it's all the energy that you've got.
Cakes that we had. Yeah, but you imagine we are at the first page only. We are at the first 5 pages, let's say, out of 1,000.
Let's see where it goes.
Yeah.
What do you say? Should we
kick off? Let's kick off. Welcome everyone. We are very happy to have you here, and we are very happy to be here together. We are all the time together actually, but this time you are going to see us in a full team. Let's start the whole event by introducing Adriana, who is the Chief Product and Marketing of Sibling, and ask her to provide us some key figures from 2021 and probably some estimations for 2022. Please, Adriana.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Ionut. Allow me to share the screen. 1 second. Okay. So I'm happy to kick off this open discussion with a short introduction of some of the highlights we have seen in the past few years, in the past 2 years in our community, and I'll share some insights from the annual report we are preparing for January to be released to our community. So first, I think it doesn't come as a surprise still, the fact that European tech is booming. And what we've seen this year, and the reports are showing it as well, the Atomico report and Sifted has such reports for the technology European investments. This is an all-time high amount being raised by the startups. And is now over 120 billion at the end of this year, which is 3 times bigger than last year. Another leading indicator for the European tech is the fact that Europe is at 33% of the global rounds raised for early stage startups, which is quite promising as it's close to the US at 35%. Now, all of this just shows the strong momentum we have in tech in Europe. Still, in the Central Eastern Europe, just 5% of the European VC was allocated. We all know the story of a UiPath and the Romanian startup that was the first European decacorn, valued at over 10 billion. Now, end of year, Atomico reports 26 of such companies. Speaking of UiPath, If we zoom in a bit to the Romanian market, and I'll share just some insights from the recent report Activized issued. In 21, we also see the highest amount being raised to 85 million euros, which excludes the outlier FinTech.OS and UiPath. And just on these numbers, if we look at the early stage, SeedBlink has been again this year over 50% of the rounds raised, early stage rounds, so lower than 3 million is also through SeedBlink. But this has been a journey for us, and even SeedBlink had the Series A this year, which allowed us to refine our value proposition and also to grow our community, now at roughly 9,000 investors in Europe. So here, what we aim is to become the modern platform where each of us can have access to the tools, the insights, the opportunities, and the infrastructure to execute our own venture capital strategies. And one thing that we realized also is that we are not a traditional equity crowdfunding platform, but a new mix that brings crowd investing, angel syndicates, and also the tools and the access to the VC investments. So we are still learning and refining this positioning, but the key to our success is our community. And speaking of community of like-minded investors, I want to share a bit also the profile of the investors, the demographics that we collect. And even if these are general categorization data, behind it, there are lots of stories and discussions each of us had with you. And we hope to do this even better and more in the following year. So just a quick reminder, we categorize, or I don't know, we call in our platform two types of investors. We have the general, and then the everyday investor, and then also the elite. Elite are the investors with a portfolio of larger than 25,000 on our platform already. So on the general side, what you can see is that we are bringing together professionals that share a similar passion, which is technology, finance, investments. And in the general profile, we have all ages, let's say, but I like to think that the majority are late 20s, let's say, in this case, still senior type of professionals. If we go to the top 100, so those that are in the elite group, here the age is over 40, prevalent, but then a similar approach to the sectors: finance, software development, investments, banking. Half of it is through entrepreneurs themselves, who want to support the new generation founders, but also corporate executives that understand startup investments. In both scenarios, what we see is that the women are a minority, but still we are at better distribution than what we see in the European venture space. Now, another very important pillar for us, and alludes to the 21 priorities for us, was to review our deal selection process. And I won't go through the details. I'll just, I'm sure this will come up in the discussion as well. But just to give you a glimpse, we've seen this year over 1,000 companies, startups, and to the funding committee, where the four managing partners here in the call are the decision makers. Just 4% of the companies get to pitch. So we are improving these ratios and looking to curate the opportunities we bring on the platform. In terms of the portfolio, what got to the platform, the highest interest we saw is within enterprise software and also health tech, followed closely by health tech. This is in line with the European investment trends. All of this comes down to the technology we also built. We built ourselves for the community is where we are looking to show you or have a modern platform where you can manage your portfolio, diversify your portfolio, have the data and the analytics, the insights to better decisions. About our first pilot for liquidity, the initial secondary market, I'm sure it will come up in the discussion, but this is another milestone we had. And I invite you to review our winter release we just announced. Now, just to wrap it up, 2021, what I'm grateful for is this exclusive community, this like-minded investors we gathered around us and who are more and more from outside Romania as well. Then also the advancements we have on the platform, the follow-ons we were able to execute, the preemption rights for the investors, and then the capabilities that we are bringing on the platform. And moreover, about the deal process, the deal sourcing and the portfolio management, which is here in this case is more about the diversification and the opportunities that we want to be able to bring in the community. So it's not one thing that we are striving is to bring both the early stage, but also larger rounds. And we had such examples, Flowex and Dronamics this year, with the rounds collected on the platform of over 1 million. 2022, as a preview, surely the team will cover what are the exciting milestones. I'll just leave that for a second. We'll continue with the pop pillars. And I alluded already to the fact that we want more engagement in our community and build micro communities by preference, expertise, and better thesis match with the right founders. On the platform, we'll continue with analytics and the secondary market available to all the investors. And then on the deal sourcing, that's something that we continue to improve. With that, I'll wrap it up and give back the floor to Ionut. Just stay tuned for the January updates. We'll have the annual report. We are building a new ebook with recommendations for from VCs that we spoke with. And soon we are also inviting you to share your feedback on what you like or want to do, see us do more in the future. Thank you. Ionut, it's all yours.
Thank you, Adriana. Quite relevant figures that you have presented. We are all the time amazed by your preciseness in everything that you calculate. And we are happy to have you with us in Sibling. Thanks a lot. Now, I've been designated as a moderator for this discussion. That's because I talk a lot.
And we wanted to keep you kind of.
Yeah, and you talk a lot. And
yeah, but you cannot get around that.
I was instructed to keep you very straight in the line. So I'm gonna start with you the discussion.
Okay. Because
knowing the figures that Adriana showed us, we have to put the context around them, and we have to talk a little bit about 2021 and probably a bit more strategically about 2022. And because you are our strategy guru, and because all the time you have the final word in
now you're embarrassing me.
No, he doesn't.
No, but this is the truth, and I don't have the opportunity to tell this to you all the time, so this is the time for you to find it out. I'm going to ask you, how do you see Sibling now, after the round in May, after all your efforts to structure everything until now, and how do you see Sibling in 2022? Because everything changes very fast, at least from my point of view. Not every day, but every week is different than what I expect to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, thank you so much, and appreciate the question and everything. I'm absolutely amazed. So I'm going to start by telling you that, look, I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I've been co-funded 37 companies, and SeedBlink is the quickest growing company in all my portfolio in the first year. So of course, this is no guarantee for the future or success or whatever, but it is absolutely the most amazing journey that I've been living, and I'm wholeheartedly amazed and excited about what last year gave us, and moreover what the next years is going to bring to the table. So we all started, like actually the two of you started originally, and then we joined, and as late co-founders, and it was more or less like ideas and is it going to work or not, and that's like 1.5 years ago. It's like yesterday. I remember it was one table, not even a table here, and here we are, I mean, growing and trying and failing ideas, and changing it and bringing really senior and good and amazing people around us. Gone through 2 rounds, one of pre-seed, one of seed this year, and bring in more people, and started by getting kind of smallish companies, startups to invest in, and a few investors, and then bigger companies and better companies and very good companies and more investors. So I think where we are, it's a perfect milestone for where this company is supposed to be. The company is right now really great in the Central Eastern Europe, and it really got its point in the tech industry, so it's very well focused on the tech industry. I think that the company is very well positioned. Am I speaking too much? No, okay.
I'm going to stop you whenever.
Thank you. How much do we have? So it's very well positioned in the portfolio management. So in the thesis management, in portfolio building, in offering the investors, your everyday investor, the tools to create a coherent thesis and portfolio. And I guess that the 2022 for me, it's about being pure European. Right now, in the last quarter, we actually got to be more and more European, and our investors are coming from all over Europe. I think for me, becoming like completely countryless but European technology platform, it's the most important thing to actually happen. So I guess landmarking the technology, Europe, and portfolio, these are for me the things for next year, and things look really great. I'm absolutely exciting for this.
Thanks a lot, Radu. It's true that becoming, as you said, countryless is very important, and it's very important for our existing investors, because they could mingle with all the other cultures, and they could learn a lot from other cultures, and other cultures could learn a lot from us, because actually I think we took a shortcut with the software industry, and we are there with everybody else. I mean, it's our job to be there now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, only a short notice for all the participants. If you have questions, please note your questions in the Q&A sector, and we are going to pick them up from there immediately after we end up with our discussion. Now, we are in a very good moment of our lives, and the very good moment of SeedBlink's life, and of the sector and of the industry. But actually, everybody knows about the Harvard study that wanted to find out what were the reasons for good companies that ended up being excellent. And it's not the strategy, it's not the number of people or the quality of people. Of course, all of them are there, but the most important thing is timing.
Okay.
So what do you think about the timing for ourselves? This is the first question. And the second question, 1 year ago, we were 5 and we thought we were fantastic and we are doing a great job. Now, if I look back 1 year ago, I don't have courage to speak anymore. And if anybody would have asked us, what would you do in case this happens? We really didn't know. But now it's a mini corporation. I mean, it's really, I don't know, we have 35 people employed already. So from 5 to 35 in 1 year, how do you keep them engaged? I mean, what's the magic that you're doing?
It's not a magic, obviously, for all startups, but for all companies, the most important thing, in my opinion, is not timing, is the team and the timing to get the team, actually. But and we are extremely lucky to have an excellent team, and that was a good timing because we managed to attract some excellent people to work with us. At the beginning, we were 4 of us, and we are still working, and we probably will work as we work right now. 4 of us as a team. Actually, we are starting each week with a meeting. That's our how we work to align ourselves. So the founders are the core team, but we needed senior people to actually create a company and to evolve from a startup to a real company. So the timing was that we were able to show to these people that they can trust us, and they put all their efforts, all their creativity in this project. Therefore, from the initial 9 people, we are now 39 actually, and we'll be quite more next year. Yet, exactly. And the route to get to this team was to engage senior people, and then on their side to create their teams and of super professionals. The team is very young. A part of us, obviously, we are we are the experienced one, but the rest are extremely young, and very creative. I would like to thank all of them, because what they are doing is amazing, and the fact that they are coming to work with pleasure, which is, I think, the most important thing when doing something. So it's the motivation is the project itself. It's the way we are, as in working with passion, because it's what we are doing. And the fact that this business is more complex than we imagined at the beginning. Each of us was like, okay, it's an investment platform. We know platform, we know technology, we know how to do that. We know community. Each of us is professional in this direction, but the reality is, as you said, that is very, very complex in terms of regulation, in terms of risk, in terms of business development, in terms of finding investments and finding the right solutions. So to have issues to be solved each day, it's important for creating a good company and a good team.
Yeah, so problems
yeah,
are the solution to have a coherent team.
Yeah, because they are working together in order to solve these issues, and you are not getting bored, and your creativity and you have to think about it and work with each other's. And imagine that we are a pandemic company. We have been invented in the pandemic, and we were working 2 years as here in the office on Zoom. We hired people on Zoom. We had team buildings on Zoom. So it's we are kind of a pandemic child, but still the team is amazing. It's the whole team.
And we love each other on Zoom.
And we love Georgescu, that's true.
So I wouldn't call those problems. I would rather call them challenges.
Okay, challenges,
Because
that's true.
it sounds better, challenges.
Management-wise, yes, challenges is
Yeah,
better.
I'm going to you, Andrei, and it's very difficult for me to ask you a question because I actually ask you questions every day, lots of questions, but you are the image of Sibling. You have to know everything, you have to be everywhere, you have to talk to everybody. And one thing that I have to give you, a credit that I have to give you, is that you care a lot about customers. You care a lot about investors. And I see this every day because whenever something pops up, you are there. Even if we don't ask you, you give us the answer. And you are very, probably this comes from your former career and from the times that we lived together for a lot of time. But anyway, this is the first question that I'm asking you. Probably from your mother, yeah, who served your father. So how do you see client service? How do you see investors? How do you see the relationship that Sibling has with the investors and with the startups, knowing that we have a platform, we have a software that has to serve them. So theoretically, we don't have to talk to them that much. So how is life here?
Yeah, thank you for the kind words. I never experienced something like this from you.
We are
in a live session.
We are in a talk show.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm very glad to be here along with the four partners, the three other partners of Sibling, and with the big community that you cannot hear me. Now I hope you can hear me. Yes. Sorry. Yeah, we made a lot of tests before the live show, and everything goes well before the show. Now it's Murphy is low. Coming back to Ionut's question about how we deal with the actually our main customers, we decided that strategically that are the investors. Of course, the startups are as well our customers, but the focus on we have as main pillar are the investors. And of course, we are a platform. We made a lot of technological progress and updates for serving better the customers. But of course, we have some specific approach for both for the new entrants, because our colleagues from the operations have a with the new tickets, they have an approach to guide them, and we have a lot of questions how they can deal with the platform, because some of them we're not used with investing in such with such a platform. On the other side, we have as Adriana mentioned, and we had the profile of the elite investors and the ones that exceeded 100K through our platform, that for sure have specific needs. And we made a tour actually, all of us, we met several of them in order to get better feedback from how they are feeling and what are their needs, and what kind of progress they would feel that SeedBlink could give to them, to provide to them. And I think it was a common word that everybody said, that they need from us more knowledge, or to help them with knowledge, and that, try to educate them better in how they define their strategy of investing. And that's what we are doing with technology. But of course, coming back to your tricky question, talking about investors and people that invested a lot of money in a quite new domain of investing, and a new kind of asset that this part of Europe was not providing for the until SeedBlink appeared. You had to be a real business angel
or an LP in a VC fund in order to do this kind of investments. So we need to have a very close relationship with them. And the feedback we got once we had in this weird period of not meeting each other only on Zoom, we forced ourselves to and themselves to meet live, and it was a totally different breakthrough approach and building differently the relationship. So I think we should have further on a mix between the technology engagement of the investors and the personal relationship we should build.
Okay, thanks, Andrei. This is another word that you don't hear very often from me. I have one more round of questions, the same question for all of you. And then we are going to take questions from the audience. So this question is, again, something that I want to know, and probably something that is interesting for the people watching us. And it sounds like this. What is the toughest lesson that you learned in the last year? Because, you know, people with our expertise, with our full lives, professional lives, you don't expect them to learn much. I mean, what can you learn more than what you learned already? But it's not like that.
It's so not like that. It's so not like that. You know, you are so right. Every day comes, and Carmen said this very well. Every day comes with new challenges. It's a new business model. We're trying to do this innovative, crazy mix of equity crowdfunding and clubbing and VC to be able to better serve the startups through the network of angels, through our own expertise as a company, and to be able to deploy knowledge and to help the angel investors to invest VC grade through VC grade knowledge and tools that we are providing, and all this kind of thing that it's really innovative. Put all this in a platform that provides so much information and so much knowledge and so much reporting tools and analysis and everything. It comes with everyday challenges, and you know, sometimes things don't work and need to be repaired. And you know, for God's sake, I mean, we're a startup, and a lot of things don't work. And when they work, it's, oh yeah, it works. It's so great. And sometimes we think of things that we believe are good, and our investors are telling us, oh, you know, we would like them somehow else. And we are so happy to learn from the investors. If you're asking me personally, what my biggest kind of learning is that the investors are so smart. I think that it's yeah. Look, I was speaking with people from Seeders and Crowdcube and so on, and you know, sometimes investors in equity crowdfunding are drawing lottery tickets. Like, okay, let me try, let me check. Maybe smart is not the right word. You're right, but they're normally trying to kind of play roulette or something. Whereas our investor group investors are smarter than theirs, right? Because they're not investing in a lottery ticket. They're already investing in portfolios. They are thinking out what they want to bet on as statistically as a portfolio, as trends in the industry, and so on. So that is amazing. And to see this community and this environment kind of growing and understanding, yeah, that I said it right. I said it very well. Yeah, absolutely. So our investors are smarter than theirs. And that's something that it's amazing.
Yeah, I would have said that if you wouldn't have said it, but now I have to think of something else.
Yes,
probably.
please. Yes, please.
Andrei, what's your lesson?
My lesson I was thinking about while Radu was speaking, it's about entrepreneurship, because I used to be for 20 years a banker and a corporate guy. And this lesson I learned along with you and then with the two other partners in the last actually 2 years of SeedBlink, that you have to have a lot of courage and to go if something doesn't work, you just have to find another solution or to work it out, but don't stop. So you have to adapt, you have to fight and to go forward with the dream, building the dream further on.
Carmen, your turn.
It's my turn. So I think my lesson was modesty, because we all have, and I have a great career, let's say, in product, in software, a little bit in investments. But I found out each day that I don't know a lot of things, and I have to learn, and I have to trust others when they say it is like this, because you cannot control everything. And you have to be able to listen to your teammates, to your subordinates, or to mostly to your clients, startups or and investors. So, and as a startup company, we had to do everything by our own hands, PowerPoints, assessing CVs, all the things that you cannot imagine that like 3 years ago, you had free people pushing some papers in front of you. So I think the lesson was modesty and trying to do things for start and using all your experience, but also learning new stuff every day.
Yeah, true. If you remember, I told you a joke yesterday.
I remember your joke, yes.
And I said that when a very skilled manager meets a very complicated business, it's usually the business that keeps its reputation unchanged. So, and I really believe this this joke.
Okay.
And
I will try to disappoint, you exactly.
myself. Radu said it's a very complicated business, and it is. And this is a very good challenge for all of us, because there is a high entry barrier. I mean, if you started 1 year before the others and you do lots of things into it, it's very difficult for anyone to catch you. They have to invent a different model, different business approach in order to have success. And this is something that I like, being a complicated business. But then I'm gonna answer myself my own question, although I'm in a conflict of interest. But what I found in the last 2 years is that it's not only about me and myself. When we talk about leadership and management and all kind of skills that I thought I have, because you know you live in a corporation, and not only corporation, you have all kind of successes in different fields, and you feel like you know everything because you do a lot of things and you have success, and why not? I mean, who knows better than I know? And even if there was someone who was better at something, I wouldn't take him into the team because I wanted to do it my way. And this is how I did things in the last 30 years, until 4 or 5 years ago, when I found out that actually it's a real pleasure to share knowledge and to share leadership and to share strategic direction and vision with a lot of others, actually with 3 of you. And not only the 3 of you, but with not 39, but at least 20 people that from the office.
35 that you know of.
35 that I know, plus 4 that only Carmen knows about. So this is what I learned. I mean, forget about me, forget about the one person doing everything. The lesson that I learned is that I'm stupid. I'm very stupid. I only know a couple of things, but for the rest, I'm stupid. And it's something important to realize this and to acknowledge it and to tell it to the others.
Thank you for sharing.
Well, we still have 20 minutes left. And I see that we have about 11 questions or even more, 13 questions. 11 in the chat sector and 2 in the Q&A. And I'm going to, no, but the chat is fine. The chat is fine.
No, the chat is.
Okay, the Q&A then, the other one. Okay, Radu, can you please give the microphone to Bianca so that she reads the questions, please?
I want to answer.
Yeah, but
Why do you want to get? Why do you want to get my
glasses?
I'm gonna read them to you.
Then
Okay.
please read them.
I need my microphone. I need to express
Okay.
myself. You know,
Okay.
I-
You have to listen
I
to
need
yourself.
I need to be able to express myself. I'm a snowflake.
I
Come
just said
on.
about my lesson.
Come on. So from I don't need
Daniel
glasses.
Mereu.
Eh,
Daniel Mereu.
From Daniel Mereuța. Any M&A plans for next year? I understand if it is a yes or no answer.
It's for you.
You can answer to. I
Or
can
for
or you
me.
can.
That's for you, please. So let me take that.
So Daniel, of course we have plans. We had plans from the beginning of the year. We had different plans though. We thought it's going to be a consolidation of the top of the industry. And then something happened. The Republic bought Cedars for a very high valuation. And suddenly all the top 10 companies thought they value twice than they really do. So at that moment in time, which is about 2 months ago, we started looking at the bottom portion of the market, where there are good companies, but not very ambitious companies. And now we are going to combine the 2 approaches, going with greenfields in countries, and in parallel trying to acquire platforms, trying to acquire group of angels, group of investors. So the strategy has changed a bit, but we are still in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm going to go forward from. Yeah.
Maybe we should mention also the approach, the regional approach that we have started for.
He already mentioned it that.
But specifically to Bulgaria, to Sofia, Greece, that we've been traveling in the last month along with the team, and yeah, we find a very interesting environment to be there, also with a local presence, also with a local footprint.
Yeah, for the first quarter, our plans are to have an branch in Bulgaria, and we already find somebody that's as a person that's a country manager, very good, and we are looking for Greece as well, following the trip that we've made there. So that's the start for domestic play that will be completed with M&A if we find something that will worth the money and to sustain our strategy.
Yeah, anyway, the approach of going into these countries around us is that there is nobody else there. So we have to be there because the market is empty, and is a very natural move for us.
Yeah, so super cool. Thanks so much. From Marius, as Andrei mentioned earlier, education, training, knowledge is key. This will for sure help us to raise confidence. One example was the call with CG. I don't know, it's either Marius Gena or the General Counsel, but either way works. Do you have this in your plans for 2022, similar and even more other types of workshops or meetings?
Yeah, that's one of our pillars, engagement for our community, as we are an investment platform, meaning that the investors are our clients, let's say, and as much as we can, we will engage everybody in this community, micro communities. As you know, we mentioned a little bit, we are looking at diversification, we are looking at theses for investors, and all these are made with a lot of education. And this will be central for our marketing strategy for next year.
Super. Thank you so much. From Mihai, how did valuations and multiples evolved over 2021 compared with the previous years?
That's an interesting one for you, Rad.
Yeah.
You
can everybody can put.
Yeah. I guess what we've seen in SeedBlink is a little bit of getting more real. I think that when we started, there was so much excitement and people wanted to invest in companies and everything. And it was a little bit of a hype, and the valuations were not outrageously high, but maybe a little bit to the high end. And I think the more education came in the environment, through us, through other means of training, people got a bit more real. We learned ourselves to look, better into the companies and to understand better the opportunities and so on. And I think the valuations went from kind of the high end of where they should be, slowly towards kind of 60% to where they should be. I mean, that's my view. Anybody other view?
Yeah, a lesson that we learned regarding valuations is that at the beginning, when we had 3, 4, 5 company listed, we didn't say anything about it. We just took what the startups wanted, and then we started to talk to them. And one of us said, let's cut them to the half, and let's ask them, what about how much do you value? 3 million. What about 1.5 million? And we asked this question, and the guy said, all right. And that was a huge surprise. And from then on, we started to
but that was
very serious.
That was last year. Now we have the right tools.
That was after 3, 4 listings. Yeah. But immediately afterwards, we learned that is not that every bird flies, and we could have a realistic approach. And what actually happened is that now we've been through 63, 64 campaigns already, and we have a very good peer group to compare with. Yeah. And it's very easy for us because somebody comes and said, I deserve 3 million in valuation. And they said, yeah, but there are 10 other companies like yourselves who are listed at 2. So what about this? Yeah. They say, okay, then it's going to be less than 2.
On the other hand, to be remembered that we are funding companies that already have some, they came with the evaluation. We are not making the evaluation. We are assessing if that evaluation is correct or not for our investors. But usually when they come to us, they have a VC or a group of angels or a major angel that already discussed with the company about the valuation. So we are not putting a tag on these startups.
But even if we are not the ones that have to establish the valuation, we keep telling them. I mean, even if the VC says you value 5, we keep telling you value 4. And that's
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much. That's actually a very good question that we are working on as we speak. Will you ever display the average median distribution of portfolio performance on the platform so that the investors can benchmark their own performance compared to the others? That is actually a very, very good question. The answer is yes, we are working on this. We do have the numbers internally. And we are working of ways to deploy the numbers. So the answer is absolutely yes.
And a bit more about this. It's not that we are going to benchmark the index to each investment, but we are going to benchmark each investment with the industry vertical. So
Well, that's a different thing. Yeah,
that's a different thing, but we are working on that as well.
Yeah, no, I guess a broader answer here is that there are so many tools and so many projects that we're working on. And each of us, it's working separately on different projects with parts of the teams, and we're coordinating, as Carmen was saying, every week. I hope you're going to get to be amazed, in the next couple of quarters by the multitude of projects and information and tools that you are going to get through the platform. So yeah, that's absolutely one of them, and vertical benchmarks and analyses are going to be other ones. Yeah, absolutely. Going forward, how will Sibling navigate in the coming years should interest rates increase structurally?
May I answer to that?
Yeah, I guess it's for the bankers.
I mean, there is a direct correlation between interest rates and investment in equity, but it's
direct but
indirect. Yeah, it's indirectly indirectly proportional. But the thing is that this happens between interest rates and stock exchange. Because investing in startups is a different thing. Yeah, there are still money. And of course, you have to benchmark your interest points and to calculate them over 5 years or 7 years, and to make a comparison and to have a choice to be able to choose between 2 investments. But this doesn't happen because there are so many and so different kind of risks in investing in startups that only a straight calculation doesn't work. And you may have a multiple of 20, or you may lose all your money. I mean, it's just like that. We have to say it. I mean, it's a very risky investment, and it could be a very profitable investment. And it's up to each and every of you to know how to invest and to be efficient in your investment. If you just invest in one company because you love it, it's going to be a lottery, as Radu said. If you are going to create a portfolio of 10 or 20 companies, you are going to be lucky. For sure, you're going to be lucky.
Yeah, I guess statistics works in this business as in any other.
If I may just add a point to this, to the interest comparison with investing in startups, I think all the investors that joined our community and made at least one investment with us had the approach or the view that is a different kind of asset. So they of course they come or split the total assets or the total work they have in different kinds of assets. So this is a totally new and alternative asset for them, is what is motivating them to have a broad and dispersion of risks with different profile of risk and different profile of potential revenue. So I don't think we are competing with the classical deposits when assessing their portfolio.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think you're absolutely spot on here. I'm gonna continue with the comment to the previous question. Portfolio performance, is that to be displayed on a future secondary market, or how? And portfolio performers is multiple of invested capital and IRR and this kind of portfolio KPIs. And each of the investors already have these numbers in their My Portfolio region, and each of the investors can see their own portfolio KPIs and performance. And what I was saying is that we're going to publish the index, the total portfolio of SeedBlink, so people can measure can see their own portfolio performance vis-a-vis the global SeedBlink kind of portfolio. So that was the thing. Going further,
let me touch a little bit on the secondary market. That is the liquidity itself, which is important for all of you. Is done obviously by an exit to of the company you have invested in, or what we are planning to do according to the regulation in place in Europe is this secondary market. We already had a pilot inside the SPVs. And for the first half of the year, we'll have it in place generally for this to provide a little bit of liquidity. And for the second half of the year will be a secondary market as it is described as a definition on our platform. So this is for next year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point you are making here about the secondary market. I'm personally waiting so much. I really look forward. No, not for me personally, but professionally, I look forward for this. That's something that, as you are well saying, it's going to complete, the journey of the investor, because the investor gets in, then he manages his investments and then he gets out. So we need to be part of the full cycle. So absolutely great point you're bringing in here.
It came an additional question to that, probably based on follow on. No, the first was, but without exit events, how is the current valuation assessed? And then the answer comes from probably the same.
Yeah,
exactly. On the follow-on round.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so at this point, as I said, we don't make an evaluation of the company. It's a fair market value, and this is set right now for from the follow-on round that each company has. So a VC or an angel, but usually a VC or a group of VCs that are investing in these companies set the evaluation.
Yeah, absolutely. From Stefan, speaking of lots of things that you work on, any chance to share your product backlog with the investors? At this high level would be very interesting. Product backlog, like
I think like the roadmap, I guess, is
our
internal roadmap. Yeah, that probably, not probably, for sure we'll be sharing that with our investors with SeedBlink investors. To have it public, yeah, it's an idea. We can think about it. What are the next milestones for us? But anyway, we will be having public releases at least each quarter. We just had one, our winter release, where we explain what we have done in the product, very thorough, and that will be quarterly distributed to our investors via email. So
yeah, absolutely. Thank you. From Stefan as well, do you have any plans to help investors educate themselves?
Yeah, actually, we have created a very, actually 2 months ago, 3 months ago, we have created SeedBlink Academy. It was just a very short notice idea, but we started to build it very seriously. We started from the top to the bottom, but next year we are going to extend to everyone. And we are going to invite very interesting people, very seasoned investors that are going to explain from a practical point of view what they do and what they don't do when they make investments. Because we somehow thought that theory is not that valuable as it is practice. And practice is something that we decided to start with. And then we're gonna see next year what, but by the second quarter, second half of the year, what we're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And in any case, I would really encourage everybody to provide feedback to us. We're a young company. We are learning ourselves. As Carmen was saying, we're modest. As Ionut was saying, we are stupid. And we really want to learn from you, what you need, what you want from us. And please do reach out to us as a company through any channel it's convenient to you guys. Reach to us and tell us what you need. And we really hope that, I mean, I know that we're going to learn a lot from this, and we hope that we're going to be able to provide a lot based on this feedback. So really encourage you to reach to us.
And I think an additional answer to this is what you have imagined, and you're fighting inside the company to build it quicker. And our colleagues already have done a lot of efforts, and it's on the way with the technology that helps investors to educate themselves by building portfolios, building investment thesis, and so on, which is your baby somehow.
Yeah, absolutely.
And your dream to have on the platform.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
That's the last question.
One more, I guess that's the last one. Outside the secondary market, what do you think the most likely exit scenario will be for SeedBlink itself?
And it was in if I have seen correctly in the chat, when the new round for SeedBlink, if we can disclose.
Our financial plans, our financing plans.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the most likely exit scenario with us for the Sibling. I have two answers. None of them is very precise. One answer is the normal answer for any startup. There are the obvious three scenarios. One is that the company is going to grow so much, be profitable, and provide dividends. The second scenario is the company is going to get acquired by a strategic, and the third scenario is a potential IPO. And these are by the book, all the three scenarios that any company has. So I'm not really saying something too smart here, but these are actually the real scenarios. The second part of the answer is again by the book. We're building here a great company. Any great company is going to provide money to its shareholders, and that's the shareholder related objective of Sibling. One way or another, this company is going to provide money to its shareholders. Now, as long as it's a great company, and that's what we're building. We're building a great company. Now, is this going to be through dividends, through strategic exit, or through IPO? We're going to see what is the best opportunity for our shareholders.
Now, I know that you like a lot to talk, and you look very well talking, so it's normal for you to do this.
Thank you.
Having said this,
shut up.
We have now. We are closing to the holidays. I think we still have 3 days or something already. So we wish everyone Merry Christmas, la mulți ani, Crăciun fericit tuturor. And then I don't know if I can give you an advice or not. Don't do things, don't work, but you can invest.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays to everyone.
Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Thank you for
Merry
everything.
Christmas.